I'm so happy to see you.
You too. How's it going?
It's great. It's Wednesday, which is my favorite day of the week because on most Wednesdays, Phil and I go out on a date, which you might think, well, how could you guys possibly need more time together? But we try not to talk about work on Wednesday
Oh,
night.
how successful are you?
We used to be a lot better about it, but now that we have different like projects and things going on, sometimes I'll feel like I get a martini and I get like French fries and I'm like, guess what I worked on today? But then we're like, we both kind of like it. It's like we're either talking about our kids or we're talking about work. It's not like we have other, kind of huge pressing passions. So it sort of is what it is in our house.
Yeah, you're living a very holistic lifestyle, you know? It's kind of it's
Tell
all
my
feeding. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Open.
All right. Well, this is week 3 now where I get to see you for dedicated time to ask each other a question. I have a question on my mind. So I'm going to kick us off this week and then I'll kind of ping it back to you for next week, if that sounds good. So can I ask you something?
Sure, Meg.
You do different jobs at the firm, and when you came back in January, we had talked in such great length about how you would contribute in different ways and how you would have to kind of divvy up your days to be firing on some different cylinders here. So now I'm curious, you have a couple of months under your belt. Which part of your job are you gravitating towards and like really enjoying?
You're right. I do a lot of things. Okay. All of them let me be creative, which of course attracted me to the role. But lately I've been really excited for some of our client-facing work with arts and culture institutions and educational institutions in the arts and culture sector. As we know, I'm an artist, and that's another thing about this role is that, I think that for the first time, I'm bringing my sensibility as an artist to my day job, and like, I did just reference the holistic thing and, that whole concept is something that like bringing more visibility to that in my day job. And I've, of course, like creative thinking and critical thinking skills that come from art education and being an
Right.
artist always come into play. But, in terms of also you're an artist or writer, so I think we relate on a lot of those things. And so when I can work with client who is museum or art education, I get really amped and I'm like, ready to fly my freak flag and be like, I see you, I know you, I am you. We can do this
Yeah.
together because I think not every day do you meet consultants who also are like making weird performance art in their, bathrooms.
Yeah, no, and actually, you're bringing up a good point. We've talked about this years ago that even just between me, you, and Phil, so like Mariah has a degree in fashion, you have arts degrees, Phil has a JD and a philosophy degree, mine's in French. We all kind of think like the kids might call us a little woo-woo, at least me and you.
Yeah, the kids do. They do. That's
Yeah.
right. I was driving today behind a truck and it was called like Avant-Garde was in the trucking company's name and I was like, wow, how is this trucking company Avant-Garde? And then I went off on a tangent being like, what if we presented ourselves as Avant-Garde Consulting Services? I don't know what that means, Meg, but
I
I
like
think it's
it.
something to think about. How about
Yeah.
you? What's your favorite part?
I also do a lot of different things in a day, and sometimes I get questions about how I spend my days because I am the one who will write an essay or speak at a conference, and like, how can you always be with clients and always be speaking and always be writing? And one of the things that is true about having to represent a brand and put yourself out there is that you do have to do it whether or not you're in the mood, but it doesn't always mean it's being done in that time. So a lot of times at night, like when people are watching shows, which I'm so behind on, I actually really like writing an essay. It's like my therapy and my art form. And I like reading about things like in the industry or not, which helps me become a better writer. And so that's probably the thing I gravitate towards is public speaking and writing, which Phil and I laugh about a lot because I don't spend a lot of time with just like a group of 10 people or a group of five. I'm either in front of like 200 people or alone all day with like the door shut writing away. I see clients not as often as you do, definitely not as often as Phil does. I usually only work on a few projects at a time. And then I am doing a lot of research and contributions for our firm. And I think just generally to philanthropy thought leadership on how to convey ideas and thoughtful information that I think will advance the conversation. As I shared, I think last week or the week before, I think philanthropy should be on more of a national stage. So I gravitate towards the opportunities to bring the word and the concept into more households, or at least into the households who are already thinking about it in like a very deep, meaningful, connected way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, okay, well, I love that we get to do different things every day. We require that for the way that our brains work. And I am grateful to you for coming on here and spending time answering my questions.
I'm grateful to you, Megan. I'm really grateful that we had such a nice color complementing situation today. So
Yeah, I like that for
yeah,
us. It actually
yeah,
looks really nice.
yeah, right? It's wonderful.
Okay, good. Well, as always, I'm going to see you next week, but I'm also probably going to see you in like a half hour.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you. Same Zoom room.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.